It's time for Batman Lost in Time, otherwise known as the story behind Batman: The Return of Bruce Wayne. To understand how we ended up here, you're going to need to watch our Final Crisis video, so let's go ahead and pick up from there. Batman raises his gun at Darkseid and says that he's ready to make an exception to his rule, and then he fires his god-killing bullet at Darkseid. But Darkseid will not be defeated by Batman, and he blasts him with the Omega Beams, seemingly turning him into a corpse, and seemingly defeating Batman. But was he defeated? Bruce Wayne awakens at the dawn of history with no memory. Before he can even get his bearings, he's quickly attacked by cavemen led by the immortal Vandal Savage. He finds himself rescued by a young man who returns his bat belt to him, and since he has no memories, he works on instinct, donning the pelt of a giant bat, and we now have Caveman Batman. He has a few fights with the cavemen, but he eventually finds himself cornered at a waterfall, where he jumps off to escape, only to be blasted forward in time. Once he awakens, he finds himself in the Puritan times. Being who he is, he quickly rescues a woman named Annie from a giant tentacled monster, and then he settles down and tries to make a life for himself in a small colony known as Gotham. In this time period, he goes by the name of Mordecai, and he joins Nathaniel Wayne as a witch hunter. He uses his detective skills to disprove the theories of witchcraft, but eventually, Annie is accused of being a witch and for summoning the monster that he fought when he first arrived. Annie is quickly brought to the stake by Nathaniel, where she swears on and curses the Waynes for all of time, just before Nathaniel burns her at the stake. But before Bruce can even cope with it, he's thrown forward in time once again. This time, he finds himself in the 18th century, where he is quickly confronted by Blackbeard himself. Thinking Bruce is the fabled Black Pirate, Blackbeard demands to be led to one of the most famous treasures the Black Pirate stole from a tribe of Bat people. You see, the cavemen that Bruce encountered when he first entered the time stream, they've apparently started praising Bruce as a god, and they've immortalized him in their culture. Bruce eventually overcomes Blackbeard, and he teams up with one of Blackbeard's other captives, Jack Loggins, the grandson of the actual Black Pirate. The two of them go to the island of the Bat People, where Bruce sees his old cape and his old cowl hung in a shrine to him. Boy, those things kept up pretty good over the years, didn't they? This stirs up a lot of his original memories, but they quickly vanish. Realizing that there is something more going on here, Bruce tells Jack Loggins to write everything down that they have done and put it into a box with a bat symbol on it. The box will be entrusted to the Wayne family, and with that, Bruce jumps through time once again. This time, Bruce lands in what appears to be the Old West, and he creates an identity as the masked gunfighter, even though he still won't use guns or kill people. He targets everything that Vandal Savage does in an attempt to stop him, and in response to the masked gunfighter stopping his operations, Vandal Savage hires Jonah Hex to hunt down the masked gunman, while Vandal Savage goes on another adventure to try and acquire the Wayne family bat box, as it seems to have slipped from the Wayne family's hands and is actually in an imposter's hands right now. Luckily, Bruce ends up acquiring the box once again, and he manages to get the journal written by Jack Loggins out of it. Bruce ends up trying to get the box to the Wayne family, but he finds himself shot by Jonah Hex. The box does end up back in the proper Wayne family descendants' hands though. The Wayne family then builds a mansion on the cliffside of what is going to be the future Gotham, and they put the box with the journal in the caves beneath the mansion. The same caves that the tribal Bat people used to inhabit, and what will eventually become known as the Bat Cave. Bruce once again awakes in a new time period, being treated for his gunshot wound. The woman treating him is Marcia, an apparent friend of Martha and Thomas Wayne. Marcia believes that Thomas Wayne murdered his wife and is faking his own death to get away with it, and he wants to hire Bruce to investigate this theory. Bruce ends up going through many theories trying to prove that his own father killed his own mother, not realizing that this whole thing is his actual parents. But eventually, he grows suspicious of Marcia, and he follows her to the Gotham graveyard, where he discovers that she is actually a member of the Black Glove Society and wants to sacrifice Bruce to the Bat God of the old Bat People tribe. For those of you who may be lost in this by now, she basically wants to sacrifice Bruce to himself, as he is the perceived Bat God. The ritual to sacrifice him actually involves the use of a time machine that someone created, and before they can do anything to him, Bruce steals the time machine and poof! He's in the time stream once again. This time, he arrives at Vanishing Point, the end of all time. Finally, he is at the end of time itself, and because he's here, all of his memories come back to him, and we discover what has actually been going on this whole time. Darkseid never actually wanted to kill Bruce. He wanted Bruce to time travel so that he would build up Omega energy, and then he would be returned to his own time where he would explode, destroying all of reality from the 21st century. To ensure this plan happened, Darkseid had one of his own minions following Bruce through the time stream, and that minion has just gotten to Vanishing Point with Bruce. Meanwhile, during all of this, Booster Gold, Superman, Rip Hunter, and Green Lantern have been chasing after Bruce in the time stream, and they realize that he's still alive, and they've always been one step behind him this whole time. They have just now gotten to the Vanishing Point also, but they've arrived after Darkseid's minion has taken over Bruce's body. Everyone at the Vanishing Point jumps into the time sphere that the members of the Justice League used to get here, and they all wind up back in the 21st century. The members of the Justice League then defeat the minion of Darkseid by ripping it out of Bruce's body and throwing it back into the time sphere to be lost in time forever. So we now have a Bruce filled with Omega energy, various members of the Justice League, and a reality bomb about to explode, and we're finally back in the 21st century. So the Justice League medically stops Bruce's heart, which allows the Omega energy to dissipate and not explode. Before they revive him though, Bruce has a vision of Darkseid and Metron from Final Crisis. Darkseid tells Bruce to embrace the anti-life equation, but Metron tells him to face the first truth of Batman. Bruce then wakes up after this insane adventure and remembers back to when he had his first thought about being Batman, and the help he received from Alfred Pennyworth. He then realizes that he had his friends following him this whole time, and he had help from people in each time period. He remembers the first truth of Batman. Batman has never been alone. Bruce then puts on his cape and cowl. Batman is going to be needed very soon. Crazy adventure, isn't it? Something that I would have expected Doctor Who to show up and yell at Bruce for doing. But this isn't all that happened. What happened in Gotham while Batman was getting all Doctor Who on us? Well, Dick Grayson took over, and I bet you want to hear that story, don't you? So maybe next time we'll be covering Batman: Battle for the Cowl. And until I get there, I'm Benny from Comicstorian, and I'll see you guys next time.